Merry Christmas to those that celebrate, and if you don't, you get to watch me ruin it for others in Pokemon Kecleon's Dream Shop, a store simulator where you and your sibling run an item shop selling to the local townsfolk at very reasonable prices, of course. We need a name for our character, so I went with one of the best and most reasonable businessmen out there, Tom Nook. All that's left is the name for our shop, and hey, you can't say I didn't warn them. Thanks, Miss Gorgeist, I think so too. So basically, to sum up the business aspect of the game, we take items, put it on the display table here, as unorganized as I possibly could, then we head over to the counter to start the day. Pokemon walk in, stare at the item for an uncomfortable amount of time, and ask how much the item they want costs. Of course, you can sell the item at base price, but then our store's name would be a lie, and I'm not a liar. So we're gonna go ahead and jack up the prices just a little bit. 200% sounds good to me. Well, I guess someone isn't getting a Christmas present this year, but we can do better with the next customer. There's only 2 different items, bro. I need you to just pick one. Oh, that other Oranberry wasn't good enough for you? Okay, what if we just go up a little bit? Get scammed, Babero. And with 1 item sold, apparently it's time for bed. Apparently there's an actual story to this game. Our brother's nowhere to be found, so we should head over to the Merchant's Guild to ask if anyone knows where he may be. Or we could make some more money. 140% sounds good for an apple. Huh? Too much? Alright, fine. How about 126%? 120%? Oh, I guess scamming people in this area is going to be harder than I... Oh, hello again. You know what, Drampa? It's time to see what the max amount I can charge you for this apple is. Well, I've been holding the right arrow key for about a half hour now, and it stopped at $60,000. That's a 20,000% increase. How about that, Drampa? Man, but what if, though? We would have been chilling for the rest of the game. Well, not only did we not go look for our brother, but we didn't even sell anything either. I think we deserve a good night's sleep for a hard day work. Well, it's been almost a week, and we finally sold all of our inventory. Overpriced, of course. I guess it's time we finally go searching for our lost brother, or whatever. We arrive at the Merchant's Guild, and Miss Gorgeist explains that we might be able to find a clue about our brother in the Green Meadow. And if we don't think we can handle it ourselves, we can hire a team to fight with us. Or we can talk to Machoke and renovate our shop. 1 fancy red carpet, please. We did also have enough money to hire a team to do all the dirty work for us, so we'll check out the new store when we get back. In case you've never played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon before, you should. It's one of my favorite Pokemon series ever. This game has a very similar concept. You run around randomly generated dungeons, collecting money and items, as well as beating up Pokemon. Your goal is to find the stairs on each floor to go deeper into the dungeon. And once you reach the end, usually something happens, like story progression or boss fights. But apparently there's nothing here. So we just said f it and went to sleep, I guess. Oh, that red carpet was so worth it. We're greeted by Miss Gorgeist, and she explains that some explorers spotted our brother in Amethyst Cave, so that's our next dungeon to search through. You can see how this game kind of works. But first, we got some items in the Green Meadow, and there's people who need scamming. You all right there, buddy? Is the door stuck? I know it's cold outside, but I need you guys to leave, please. Well, it's the next day, and no matter what I do, we just end up being stuck here, so I think it's safe to say the game isn't coming back. Upon further research, it appears to do this every time I change the pricing, whether I surcharge or discount. So I guess we're gonna have to be a real businessman this time and charge reasonable prices. Fine, I guess you guys can have your Christmas presents after all. Alright, we're back where we were supposed to be, and now we can finally enter the Amethyst Cave. I like the color scheme and look of this dungeon, but I have to admit, the Pokemon are much stronger considering we have 0 effective moves against most of them. So I just juke out most of the Pokemon because they only move when I do, and eventually we reach the end where a Mudbray is running away from a Beheeyem. We don't really seem to care, but the Beheeyem attacks us anyway, and to my surprise, he gets obliterated. Beheeyem's just mad that we woke him up, and honestly, I completely understand. So he leaves us to go back to sleep, and Mudbray informs us our brother got involved with the bandit gang of Sneasels named the Black Crocs. Aw, do they have the little Pokemon gibbets too? Miss Gorgeist lets us know that we can speak to a former member of the Black Crocs in the Blackwood Forest, but first we need to rank up a bit. Well, it's day 43. I tried to spend a bunch of time getting a lot of items and making a bunch of money so I could just buy everything, but eventually things just stop spawning in the dungeons altogether, and sometimes they spawn you on a floor where there's no way to progress and just a tile of spikes, basically telling you to unalive yourself, which is, interesting. but I at least got these marble floors, and they were not worth the price. They almost look worse than just the default plank floors. So in disappointment, I finally head off into the Black Forest to find my brother, who's probably been long dead by now. One of the good things about all that grinding I did is I'm a way higher level now, so a lot of these areas aren't that difficult anymore. We make our way to the end of the Black Forest, and we get jumped by this Dusclops, who doesn't even give us a chance to respawn. But I have money now, and we've got much more powerful bodyguards helping me out, so the game is just on easy mode now. Dusclops is indeed an ex-member of the Black Crocs and says the gang hides out in a place called the Chromatic Ruins. This is the last place we need to go in order to beat the game. The only problem is, anytime I sell an item, the game crashes, and every time I go to the Chromatic Ruins, the very first floor is a floor with no progression. There's no stairs, no anything. Granted, this game was made by a single person who probably does this as a hobby, so it's bound to have bugs and issues, but I do think this could be a genuinely good game with a little bit of work. The concept was fun, and I'll always love the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon style gameplay. Maybe some support or recognition could motivate them to finish it. Who knows? Unfortunately, the video ends here, but for one last time, well, no Christmas present for you, buddy. Thanks for watching, I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the holidays.